Is it working now? See, this is why... Oh, there we go. It is working. This is why a mic test is important. Fix microphone position again. I was dusting my room and I may have I don't know, sometimes things are weird. Sometimes things are just weird. Not a lot of things to add. Yeah, not a lot of things to... Wait, volume's low. Why is the volume low? Is the volume low? Is the volume low? It may be a little bit low. Hold on. Things are just odd sometimes. I've been thinking re-adding a little bit more gain to the microphone. Like just 2 more points of gain. Because I don't think it is the gain volume itself that is low. It's just my voice that is low. What can I do? I mean, there's always surgery, but I'm not ready for that. Just voice surgery to increase the volume. I fixed that by yelling, but I don't want to yell. It's late at night. I can just reduce the volume and everything, but then if I do that, no one's gonna hear it anyway. Maybe I just put 2 little points of gain just to ease my consciousness a little bit. Let me see. Output gain. If I put it on... It's because the last time I worked with gain, before my voice got mechanized. So I'm a bit of afraid of doing this. Let's see, 2 gains. Is it okay? Let me find a text to read real quick. Random text for mic testing. Why do you say to test a mic? How? The small popped now a hole in the sock. The fish twisted and turned the bent hook. Press the pants and sew a button on the vest. The swollen dive was far short of perfect. The beauty of the view stunned the young boy. 2 blue fish swam in the tank. Her purse was full of useless trash. Why does it feel like I'm playing Setting Max all of a sudden? Well, the volume's okay, so I guess it's working. Let me open the game. I'm dilly-dallying. Let me open the game. Enough faffing. Enough faffing around, just play the game. So many people playing Church Charles. It really is the YouTube bait game. God damn. Maybe I should play that. Even though I've already seen a bunch of people playing, maybe I should play that, but not only after Christmas, and then it's gonna be late. Oh god damn it, I hate following a schedule. Schedules are for fuckers. Sorry for swearing. It's been 5 minutes. It's been 5 minutes. Now it's supposed to be after 10 minutes. My fault. Okay, I should close this. Should I close that? I mean, nah, I'm gonna close it. That's fine. Now I'm gonna leave it up, but I'm just gonna kill the volume. Leave it open so I can access chat in case of an emergency. Close this. Open this. Swap. Game volume. Click here. Reduce my own volume so I can listen and not be distracted by the loud game volume. Great. So on the last stream, the last time I played Danganronpa, Another Spell Academy, we did the whole investigation of Chapter 3. The victims were Tanaka, the surgeon, and text. Where's the name? God damn it, I must. No! Bunch of stuff at the desk. I need to fix this desk as well. There's too much shit on it. Where are the names? Tanaka and Kakeru, the lawyer. The ultimate lawyer. There's not a lot of... I'm gonna read the bullets anyway. There's not a lot of... much... why I should delay even more. In any case, the last string ended right here. Right after the investigation, right before getting inside the trial room. Then let's go down. I'll open the door. Like always, the elevator was making a loud noise and goes underground. The inside of the elevator was only filled with 9 people left. It was so quiet during this time. There is also fewer people now. Is it because the relationship between us has worsened by the first and second trials? Me in particular, I try not to make eye contact with some of them, such as Kinjo or Mekaru. I wonder if we will really be able to survive this time. One sec. Whoa, hold on. What's going on? The hell are you doing? Sorry about that. I did say on the pre-theme that I was cleaning up some of my... I was cleaning up my desk and I had to remove some stuff from place, so sorry for the silence. I know, sorry for... God damn, how am I missing my nostril? Sorry for the nose mats. I'm gonna be sniffing for a while. The elevator stopped with a shake that we seem to be getting used to by now. Oh, it's purple. It's a lot more pleasant than just like the green. Whoa, Wow, it's a surprise. Why are you in front of me, bear thing? Didn't you learn in kindergarten to think about the people who get off an elevator? Monokuma has always been doing this. Monokuma has been doing this once or twice already, though. He's hard to react anymore. Huh? Why is he not saying anything? Has he been turned off? Why is Monokuma like this? I guess it's a new act. Hey, how long are you planning on doing that? We have to do the class trial. Are you going to move? Something seems different to usual here. Kurokawa, touching that thing wouldn't do anything good. Huh? What's wrong, Mikako-chan? Kurokawa was suddenly stunned. At first she thought Monokuma was pulling a prank, but she noticed that the mood was different than usual. And then... Yeah! Nah, I'm alive. Alive. You thought I was dead. When Kurokawa touched it, Monokuma suddenly began to make a loud noise. What the hell are you doing? Are you kidding around? Don't do that again. All of a sudden my rack was stuck. I was surprised too. Rack? No big deal. Jirao came down here in the meantime. Well done. Then shall we start right away? Right away. Looks like you're trying to rush something here. By the way, wasn't Kurokawa's screen cute? Let's just move on. Alright, it's time for what's everyone been waiting for. The class trial is back. Well, I, of course, knew this would happen. Nobody waited for this. Whatevs. Even if it's not you, there's another person who was waiting for this. Anyway, this will be the third class trial. Your own relationships, who has been paying attention to the trends of the nerves, seems to be in a state of lockdown, as if it were breaking. Shut up. I don't care about that. Don't bring stupid stuff and start already. Oh boy, that after I see. I was gonna start anyways. Now then, shall we go with no more words? Extreme trial. The class trial that crosses beyond life and death. The third one. The moment Monokuma said that, I suddenly felt disoriented. Even when you think that 2 victims and 2 culprit sides. 4 friends were already gone. In addition to the victim of this incident, so a total of 6 friends have left our group. Jesus, I forgot how she died. One victim, this time, was Inori. After the infirmary was open, she didn't know when someone would get hurt, so she spent more of her days in that room. A child with the most angelic heart. I have no who worried about us, our health, our happiness. Inori was that kind of person. True and true, the reason she died was because her whole body became a block of charcoal. Her whole body was tired and unable to move. Someone who had done such a terrible thing is among us. They also killed Yamaguchi and committed rustless acts. The culprit, although Yamaguchi was timid and behaved inappropriately due to his size. At important times he mediated the situation like a lawyer should, and we laughed together. But then he was killed with a neck wound so severe that it was nearly amputated in cold blood. Yamaguchi was no longer with us. A trial to uncover the killer begins now. A trial in order to live. A lie in order to live. Betrayal in order to live. Elaborating their will to live, for an excuse to kill, using trust at the risk of life. Risking our lives in this class trial. Nice music, I don't remember ever hearing this. Triplets. Okay, this will work as a recap. Monokuma File 3.1. The victim was Kakeru Yamaguchi, The estimated time of death was about 8:40. Found in the library, sharply cut from back neck to uvula. The weapon is presumed to be something sharp, and there is no other visible trauma. Which means he died in a single swoop from a guillotine, let's put it like that. Monokuma File 3.2. The victim is Kanata Inori. Estimated time of death is approximately 8:35. The body was found in the science lab. Death was electrocution. The internal organs of the body as well as the skin have been burned through the wet body for a long time. She was fried to death. Just awful. We look into Yamaguchi's body. As written in the Monokuma file, his neck was cut deep enough to be almost amputated. However, no more blood came out of the wounds. It was not long after his death. Even so, why did he already have so much bleeding? A large amount of blood was poured from the body of Yamaguchi in the library to the corridor in front of the door. Yamaguchi appears to have shed, but can he shed so much blood in that short time from death to discovery? In addition to that, there was a bit of blood under the body. This means that the blood didn't flow after Yamaguchi fell into the library. But rather his bleeding started and then he fell down. What happened there? Kinjo attacked. There was also a blood stain from Kinjo in the library. He was said to have fallen unconscious a little farther away from the body, meaning Yamaguchi's corpse. There seems to be no struggle signs from Yamaguchi's body. So it seems that Kinjo was attacked after entering the library and fell down. But I can imagine Yamaguchi attacking Kinjo and getting knocked out. Tara's testimony. According to Tara, she stopped by this. Oh, right. This happened. According to Tara, she stopped by the science room just before nighttime last night. However, the door to the science room was not open. Surely the door didn't open even when I found Inori's body in the morning. But what's the reason for that? There was one last free time event before the whole investigation thing. This is why the last stream was just an investigation. That was a lot more talking, and I didn't want to spend like 3 hours. I didn't want to super extend the stream, so I just did this stream as investigation. But Tara tried to commit suicide. She went to the science room to get scissors. And according to her, when she went to do that, the science room was already locked. Alright. Bloody locker. This is the locker where Mekaru was tied up. There is a lot of blood on the inside. Even if Mekaru is unharmed, who is the owner of the bloody? Again with that. Of the blood. The blood wasn't sticky. It was almost dry and hardened. In other words, it is a blood that has been spilled for quite some time. There are a few conditions that could match. How did this happen? Blaster weapon. It is a blaster weapon created in the art room. Besides its looks, it is quite sharp and it can be cut if used wrongly. However, the location of the blaster weapon was a little strange, so while looking at it, I noticed blood splattering in small dots. Small dots circle on the blade. I don't know why the blood was splattered in there, but the presence of blood may indicate that the tool was used as a murder weapon. Bloody white coat. This is the white coat Inori was wearing. Inori's body in the science room was not wearing a white coat, but only the white coat was in the art room. It's soaked in blood, but what did the killer use this white coat for? Who is the owner of the blood on the white coat? Bloody tarp came out of the bag in the trash bin from the art room. There was a lot of blood in it, and there was a very small black hole in the middle. If you look at the blood on it, it's very likely this object was a connection in the case. Has a connection. What was its use for then? Come on. Inori's body. This is the state of Inori's body, who died in the science lab. The whole body was tarred with 4 folds and 5 layers of public box tape. And both hands were tied with ropes and fixed to the table. If I was tied up this much, I wouldn't have been able to bear it. However, what was the reason to tie Inori so terribly? Science lab flawed. There is a single science lab where you can throw away medicine, so wash your hands. And the faucet there keeps overflowing with water. I think I've been listening to it for a long time because it overflows with water to the floor. What was the reason to make the room overflow? There was a faucet on where we found Inori's body. which made the science lab... That was a flood, filled with water. And for some reason, when we found the body, instead of turning off the faucet, we just kept it on. So the corridor was full of water as well. It made Macro quite mad. Let me just say that. Broken mobile phone. It is a cell phone in a broken state after falling into the water lump. Water lump? In the science lab. It seems that someone set the alarm at 8:30. But other than that, the screen is also weird and most of it seems malfunctioning. Separately, it was tied with a stun gun and a strap. Is it at all related to the crime? There's a stun gun. It's a stun gun that fell in the water in the science lab with a cell phone. As reading in the Monokuma file, this would be a murder weapon that killed Inori. One thing that is curious is that it has connected to this phone strap. Anyway, if this is a murder weapon, it means that the killer took this and killed Inori. How is this possible? Wooden boards. It's a wooden board that was blocking the door in the science lab. At the time of the incident, I was unable to enter the science room because of this. Meguro had to use an object. She had to use her elbows to break the window of the door and move the boards. If you close it while standing on the back of the underpass door, it becomes an excellent clasp. Makuro's testimony. When I pulled Makuro out of the locker, she asked me to show my right hand, and Makuro called this action minimal precaution for life-saving, which is her last trump card. If the trial gets blocked at some point and everyone is in danger of dying, she'll let me know. Makuro seems to know something. Missing blood packs. The refrigerator for the infirmary transfusion pack was empty. All of it. Someone took all the blood transfusion packs away. Was it a culprit? Why did it take something like a blood transfusion pack? Did he even need fresh blood? Kinjo's testimony. Just before the trial announcement was made, Kinjo woke up. He quickly disappeared, saying that he had to go to do a little investigation before the trial began. Yesterday he mentioned that he found a pit. They found a pit in Yamaguchi lying down in the library. He was attacked from behind at night. But according to his statement, it would mean that Yamaguchi was already attacked yesterday at dawn. I did say this on the last stream. The developer... Apparently this game was released in chapters. Like, it was first the demo and then... Like, the main game was updated every time a new chapter came out. So just the demo was released, separate release from the rest of the game. But apparently the developer wanted to make this third case a little bit easier. That's why so many of the clues are, like, clicking together. There is one clue that isn't in here though. Yeah, there is one event that isn't in here. Now it's fine. We're probably gonna talk about it during the class trial. Now then, let's begin with a brief explanation. Oh, okay, we know how this goes. But in case of another wrong one, everyone will get punished and the one who deceived everyone else will graduate from this academy. Thank you, Zephy. So we have to find out the culprits who killed Kanata-chan Yamaguchi-kun, right? That's right. Now then, you may start your discussion. You know, this is a little bit awkward, but can Kinjo lead again? I could keep you on top of my reasoning, but unfortunately, I won't be very helpful this time either. I investigated in a hurry, but I don't know the details of the case, so there are several parts that I could not investigate. Because you got beaten and knocked out by the killer, right? Then we have no choice but to do it ourselves as much as possible. It's gonna be a miracle if Makuro helps us. Now, it'll be fine. If we keep talking, we reach an answer, right? When you start discussing, Kinjo might find out something too. I hope so. Then let's do it as hard as we can. This case has been far more different than the others. Unlike Maki or Tomori, who died suddenly while we couldn't see them, they would have took place right in front of us. Yeah, that too. You know, because two people were killed on different floors. I think the people on each other's floors will have different information. That's when Kinjo fainted at that time. Then, it's best to listen to everyone as much as possible. We'll begin a summary of the case. Satsuki will help too. The people who surveyed the second floor and the people who checked the third floor summoned her differently, so I have to gather information. As Kabashikawa said, Kinjo doesn't know anything, so let's explain the incident and sort out the order in which the incident occurred. First, before BDA rang this morning, Maeda, Taira, Iranami, Otori and I were waiting for everyone to gather at the restaurant. After 1 hour. Sure. After 1 hour, Mikako-chan arrived, but the rest were not coming at all. So we felt something was wrong and decided to find Kanata-chan and Yamaguchi-kun. Then on the second floor we found Uehara fainted, and fortunately he was able to come to his senses. Right after that, on the third floor, there was a strange sound that went wild. So he decided to act in two groups. The second floor investigation group, and the third one. Kurokawa, Uehara and me on the third floor. And as for the second one, it was Tara, Kabashikawa, Otori and Iranami who took over. Alright. So you're saying the viewpoint diverges from here, is that right? And in any case, I heard a rough story from the others in charge of the second floor investigation, but there are probably many others who don't know about it yet. Shall Maeda, Kurokawa and me talk about the third floor first? Went up to the third floor, and then each of us decided to check a room. Maeda went to the arts room, the epicenter of the strange sounds. I checked the science lab, and Kurokawa decided to check the rest of the rooms. Empty classrooms and casino. There was nothing wrong. Like Uehara said, I headed to the arts room, where I was able to confirm the identity of the strange noise. It sounded coming from inside the locker. What I found in it was Mekaru. Hands and feet tied. Inside the arts room locker was Mekaru, with her mouth taped and her limbs were bloody, and she was kicking the locker nut to try to open it. That was the whirring sound was. Mekaru was trapped. And bloody too. Wait, she wasn't in a position to talk to the others either? This incompetent child. I won't let this go easily. Why me? We'll just try to organize the case. Maeda went to the arts room and came along with Mekaru and I. Wondered how he found her. She must have been trapped. Really needs more commas on this, okay. But at that time, the situation was so urgent that there were some things that could not be explained properly. But why was Mekaru found like that? Why, you ask? Was taken off guard by the killer. You also say that you were off guard. Don't worry, unlike the cop over there, I didn't give a damn. Oh, what do you mean? Oh. Don't mind to continue the discussion. I'll tell you after I watch you guys shovel some more. You really are a piece of... Isn't there even cooperativeness in here anymore? Ignore Mekaru and keep talking. Even if you don't know, I have to reason based on what I heard just now. Yeah, then I'll continue. After taking Mekaru out, we came out through the corridor, but then Kurokawa and Uehara called out, mentioning that the science lab door was not opening. As I said earlier, I went to investigate the science lab, but the door was tightly closed and couldn't be opened. In my attempt, I tried to force it open, but it was no use. The effort didn't seem good at all, so Kurokawa joined, who came through investigating the other places. Yes, there was even a screen cut off from the science lab. The four of us were on the third floor, out focused on opening the door, and finally we succeeded in opening the door to it. Was Kanata-chan dead? Shortly after, the body discovery announcement came out. Everyone knows from seeing Inori's body, but it was so horrible that she was shocked to death and she couldn't even move from there. But the crime didn't end there. Yeah, it came out again. Another BDA. That's Yamaguchi's BDA that we found in the library, right? In order to see what was transpired, we went down to the second floor and joined you guys. And we also checked Yamaguchi's body. That's all from reporting the third floor investigation team. As for us, who checked the second floor, are no different. Each of the four were put to investigate a classroom, and I went to the library, found Yamaguchi and Kinjo-kun. And then the rest of the guys discovered the corpse one after another, and then the BDA rang. So roughly, that's how the case played out. Yeah. At first glance, it's like a murder case, just like two people died overnight and we found them, one after the other, but the biggest problem in this case is that the killing was this morning the same day. They went to the same area as us, even the same hour, and committed a murder. Is that... you mean the estimated time of death in the Monokuma file? That's right. According to the Monokuma file, Yamaguchi Inori died at the time we were investigating the second and third floors. I realized this, but as much as we've been acting in pairs and working with each other, we can't prove everyone's alibi. That is not the only thing weird, right? When the science lab door was closed, we heard Inori scream clearly with the door in between. But when we opened the door, there was no one inside. Now wait a minute. That's the same for us. The place where Uehara-kun was found, it was near the stairs of the second floor. To get out of the library after killing Yamaguchi-kun, you must pass through there, so you couldn't have missed them. When we went to search the library, did you go right away after breaking with the others who went to the third floor? Yes, when I went to the library, Yamaguchi-kun was already dead. If the culprits killed them in the library, I couldn't have missed that. And even if he said they secretly came out, Kanata-chan was killed too. To go up the third floor, they would have to pass Maeda-kun, right? How these things don't make any sense? I didn't ask that far. Don't jump ahead. Sorry. What are you sorry for? You don't have to apologize to that guy. That's how Kinjo is. He doesn't act tired anyway, so don't worry everyone else. He's not thinking badly of you, okay? Settle. It's alright, Kobashikawa. No matter what others say, it's true that I stabbed Kizuna, and it's true that Ayame... Fine. Stabbed Kizuna-chan, it's true that Ayame-chan died because of me. I don't deserve to say anything else. So many honorifics. You know that, then let's continue. I also don't want to waste my time talking about bitter stuff, even in the class trials. So then, the biggest issue right now is how did it go back and forth without any of us noticing in that short time? Yeah, Inori and Yamaguchi's time interval was only 5 minutes. It is definitely impossible to keep in two places that's separated by different floor levels. It looks like that, but is that really how it happens? Let's think based on what we have investigated. I may have found the secret to this challenge. For now, I'll non-stop... Really? No, I'm fine. I guess my theory that, like, every chapter was released in an update. Let's see. That short time, avoiding all of your eyes is impossible to kill two people. Not necessarily. Yamaguchi was killed after. You know what it was that killed Inori? Execution by stun gun, right? Maybe it was the stun gun? That does make an electric shock against the body. But it's not close to the body, so it was affected by it. I'm just gonna go ahead. Break. Give me a perfect. God damn it, why did I lose points? No, the weapon that killed Inori was definitely a stun gun. It may not have been a direct hit from the stun gun. It wasn't a direct hit, but the weapon was a stun gun? Are you saying some kind of ghost hit though? Have you all been on the science lab at least once? Was there the sea of water enough to overflow the corridor? At first I was wondering why they need to do this. The fact that the science lab was turned into a sea of water, Inori was electrocuted. What was the cause to make this happen? If you let Kanata-chan submerging water and drop the stun gun, you can cause an electric shock without touching the stun gun directly. Wait a moment. The stun gun itself is just a suppression tool. It doesn't come out with enough voltage to kill people in no time. Of course, this also depends on the device. However, if you allow water to pass electricity, it would be left enough for a person to pass through their body. Yeah, if that was the case, wouldn't the killer be able to electrocute indirectly with water, even if they didn't use the stun gun with their hands? What? I almost got his voice right. I mean, at least... I don't know. Hold on, I got a big mug of coffee. No way, Maida. Your reasoning has a bunch of flaws. What's wrong all of a sudden, Kabashikawa? Listen, I tried to reason my head wrapped around this crime for a while. But this logic is so wrong that it doesn't fit. I was being beaten by Maida, but... Today I won't lose to you. I think my dog's barking. Maybe. It is. One sec. Okay. You're arguing for such a useless reason. Useless? You said it was useless. Fine then, Maida. Unfortunately for you, I found out what's wrong with your reasoning. Now then. This is my chance to point out your mistake. Why did you make such a long pause? For now on, the counter-argument showdown will begin. Now I am 100% okay. Let's assume that the stun gun was submerged. Oh. Certainly, you cannot execute without touching the body of... But in order to get into the water, someone should have been in the science lab. After all, it doesn't change back... No, it's this one. No, not necessarily. If you only draw the stun gun, you can operate it remotely. That is impossible, along with superpowers. The stun gun moved on its own and fell into it. Well, useless. That is a tool that literally moves on its own. There is no tool that literally moves on its own. Break. Kawashikawa, maybe there may be one. A tool that moves by itself. What? It's called a robot. In fact, the science lab stun gun wasn't just dropped there. Next to it, a mobile phone was connected with a strap. The cell phone? You mean the one that Uehara discovered? Yeah, that's right. Maki's mobile phone. Sometimes I forgot I'm supposed to just speak normally with Yuki. It was the one that disappeared and you said it was there. Also, you said it was a self-moving tool. Why does that cell phone matter? Actually, it matters because it has a vibration function that was used. Kinji's right. That phone had alarm settings just before we heard it in the screen. Oh, that's right. I understand this now. So you connected the strap to the phone. Why is the alarm function related to moving? Am I the only one who doesn't understand? Oh, Uehara. A vibration alarm function, you don't know what that is. He doesn't know cell phones. Alright, Uehara lived in the mountains, so you don't know the achievement of society, right? Let the civilized people tell you that. I did not live in the mountains. Uehara, what I wanted to explain was that they drowned the stun gun using the phone's alarm function. The phone and the stun gun were connected by a strap. Probably the killer set the alarm at the time where the stun was going. The stun going was about to be drowned. Okay. And placed the phone in a corner as if it were about to fall off the edge of the desk. When this happens, the alarm goes off at the present time and the vibration function occurs. The cell phone moves little by little to the vibration and eventually falls from the desk to the floor. I see. I understand now. So the stun gun that was connected to the cell phone fell along with it. What do you think, Kabashikawa? With this, it is possible to electrocute Inori remotely without anyone in the science lab, right? Oh yes, I lost. Didn't want to lose this time, but I lost to Maida again. If people like Kinjo don't know, Maida will be able to win. Zero problem to win and lose now. Take it seriously, this is a class trial. I know that, but who will know about this? I only argued once because I thought my reasoning was better than Maida's. It's fine, don't fight. Now we have to focus on revealing the culprit's crime first. Why am I mediating now? Because the lawyer is dead. So Kanata-chan was electrocuted remotely using a cell phone on the flood, right? Say, you found out that the phone was an alarm function. Even if it is that type of phone those days, it looks like a Note 2G phone. My question would be, is it waterproof? Waterproof? The fact that the stun gun fell into the water means that the cell phone that was connected to it was also dropped. Old cell phones will probably break because of the water. No, rather the cell phone was floating on the floor of the science lab, and it was in a broken state. The time display was strange, and the colors on the screen had strange marks and lines. I just found out that an alarm was set among other features that were still functional. So can't use any other functions again? That's a little disappointing. Even if it's out of signal, it was still a mobile phone that could bear a clue in the future. Hey, aren't you guys leaning down the road too much? If the problem is sorted out, let's move on to the next step, if Inori's problem was already cleared up. You still have to hear a lot more from this case. Oh, right. Actually, there is still one problem, but sure. So as long as the killer can do remote killing using the cell phone and the flood of water, they don't have to run directly to the second and third floors. I see. If you set it up in advance, the rest just needs Inori tied up so that she cannot move on from that spot. They have to use a lot of tape for that purpose. Seems so. If that's true, then what happened to Yamaguchi? Huh? Is there anything I missed? The culprit did the kill themselves. Wait a second. Even if Kanata-chan is clear, is it the same with Yamaguchi? When discovered him in the library, there was only Kinjo who fell down. If other words are true, it would certainly be impossible to get out of the library without being noticed. The time of death was 8:40 in the first place, and it's impossible for any of us to kill at a time. Maida-kun, Uehara-kun, and Mikako-chan went to the third floor, so it is impossible. Satsuki-chan, Kabashikawa-kun, Notori-kun, and I confirm each other on the second floor, so it is all too far-fetched. And Kinjo and Makaru were in a state of being beaten by the killer, right? Then who is the killer? A ghost? No, wait. Wouldn't it be possible for him? You, Kinjo. Kinjo? Well, but Kinjo was hitting the killer by the killer in the head, right? Now I feel bad for Kinjo, but think of it as a terms of elimination. Kinjo and Makaru are the only ones who have no alibi at the time of the crime. Then Makaru is a suspect too. They were in the arts room though. It's too far from there, but Kinjo was found right in the library where Yamaguchi was dead. So you're saying that he being knocked out was self-made play? But even if I saw that, the wound was quite severe to be self-play, and I tried to heal it. Wasn't I prepared? If you're guilty in the first place, you get executed and die, but it's about hurting yourself. Isn't it possible for the criminal to get out simply by faking being a victim? Okay, so we all consider me to be the culprit. Do you really think I did the murder? If you say that, it only sounds like an excuse. You're not the culprit. If you're not the culprit, why don't you refute it logically? Is that your specialty? Because I really was fainted, I was lacking information. I'm not able to refute something that you think is reasonable. What? This is... maybe... Kinjo, are you declaring a defeat? I'll ask this for confirmation. Yamaguchi's time of death is 840. Was reading the Monokuma file, so it's accurate. And as soon as we went up to the second floor, then scattered for investigation, Yamaguchi was already dead in the library. Yes, I guarantee this. You know that if you can refute it, you confess that you're a culprit, right? Kinjo, is he really the culprit? No. A person of justice or a character who doesn't forgive criminals. I have to leave this emotion and look at things objectively. Is it true that only Kinjo and Makaro are without alibis and could have committed a crime? But I should think about this more. It's possible that we concluded this way too early. Whoa. The only one that could have done this is Kinjo. You're free to believe me or not, but I was knocked out by the killer. This might be your own trick. He killed Yamaguchi in the library on the spot. You just have to pretend to be stunned by hitting your head. Actually, the only one in the library who can do it at that time is Kinjo. But the wound was real? If the wound was self-inflicted, is the problem solved? Kinjo is really the killer. No. Yamaguchi was lying in the library. The person who can kill Yamaguchi in the library is the one who was in the same library, and it looks like there was only Kinjo in there. But it said that Yamaguchi was found in the library and died in the library? Let's recall what we investigated. This mystery can be solved too. Alright. It's a blaster weapon, isn't it? No, it's the library bloodbath. Blaster weapon. God damn it. No, not a Korean. Not a Korean. I can't read this. Alright. Washikawa, wait a minute. Is that really true? You're asking if it is true. What do you mean? Washikawa just said it. He killed Yamaguchi, who was in the library on the spot. That conclusion may have been wrong. What do you mean? Well, has the same logic as in Maki's case. There's no guarantee that the murder took place where the body was found. Huh? Then you mean he wasn't killed in the library? I think that's more likely. Because of the blood stains where they were dragged from outside, Yamaguchi was really dead in the library. At the beginning of the day, it would be an impossible crime. Then where is it? Where did Yamaguchi die? Was that similar? I'm not really sure. Maybe it was in the arts room? The arts room? That's so far away. The main stage of this case is likely to be the science lab and the library. In fact, it might not be an exaggeration to say that the arts room is more important than these two. The reason why the arts room is an important place and why Yamaguchi may have died in the arts room, other than the library. I saw that too, and that it is very little, that too had blood on it. It was a blaster weapon. There were some blaster weapons in the arts room. A big mug of coffee. It's very big. Let me look at the heft. God damn it. Sorry about that. There are some plaster weapons in the art room. It is made of stone, but if you cut its edge fairly sharply enough and swing it as a weapon, it becomes such a spear or a guillotine that it can really cut easily on human flesh. No way. That spear made of stone was the thing that killed Yamaguchi-kun. Probably is, because one of the plaster weapons had a blood spot. Wait a second. Yamaguchi died in the art room, but was he there? Isn't it a bit hard to say he died there? He could have been killed in the library and put back in that place for a while, right? That's not possible. There was a plastic wrap with blood in the trash can from the art room. A plastic wrap. Kinjo found it too. We didn't have much time to investigate it. That's right. So I couldn't really realize that the plastic weapon had blood on it. I just listened to Maida's theory and found out this connection. Then, how was the plastic wrap used? As Maida said, if there is blood on the plaster weapon, there's a high chance that the murder weapon is this. The Monokuma father also said something sharp. If so, the killer would have killed Yamaguchi with a wrap around the blade of the shedding. Hey, it said that the wrap was covered in blood, right? I mean, is that a tool to prevent blood from getting to the weapon? I realized that, but is there something odd? They used the wrap to keep the blood from getting into, but Maida said the plaster weapon had blood in it. Is that contradictory? They don't mention this. It was just spread, it was faintly spread. That was not an ordinary blood mark, it was an oval, round blood mark the size of a nail. How can blood be like that? I see. I understand after listening to Maida. It was a simple accident to get blood on the plaster weapon. An accident? I don't know how many people have gone through the trash cans in the art room, but if you've seen the plastic wrap, you know. If the wrap there was blood, all over except in this one round hole. Oh, I see. If it were the original intention of the criminal, a spot of blood should not have been rubbed on the weapon. But somehow part of the wrap was torn. That's why the blood stain remains. Aha! Then as they still said, the culprit killed Yamaguchi in the art room with the weapon that was in the art room. And then the evidence was put in the trash bin. That's great. These are excellent detectives. Wait a minute. Wait. I know that wrap prevents blood from splattering, I get it. But that could have been done in the art room by bringing the wrap to the library, then to the killing, and then dispose of the evidence in the art room. Of course you can see it that way. But it wasn't just a wrap that was in the art room's trash. Maida, if you found out the wrap, you must have seen that thing too. How about you tell the others about that? That thing. You mean something that was thrown in the trash with a plastic wrap. That must be... the, here. Kinjo, you mean Inuri's white coat? Indeed, Inuri's white coat with a lot of blood. As a result, Inuri's body was not wearing a white coat. Why was the coat in such a place? Wait a minute, Kanana-chan she died in a terrible manner, but she didn't bleed at all. But there's blood on it? I don't know why Inuri's white coat was in the art room, but one of the things is certain, the killer used the white coat to wipe the blood off. Wipe it off? But isn't it still there? You can tell just by looking at the shape of the blood. In all likelihood, it's a blood stain that seems to have been rubbed with blood at some point. You can see that it was used to destroy the evidence. Well, it was Yamaguchi who shed blood, right? Why do you say he wiped the blood off? It's the art room itself. The art room had traces of blood on the floor. There were traces of blood left. As Kurokawa mentions, there are traces of blood wiped off the floor in the art room. I even checked with the smell, so I'm sure. I see. I didn't know about it, but there was blood on the floor. I don't know, I didn't notice. Was there blood on the floor? No, there wasn't. No, it was clean. What? If that's the case, it proves that they wiped the blood with the coats. Blood splattered on the floor of the art room. Someone mentioned this before. Only Yamaguchi shed blood. Then by process of elimination, that means the blood splattered in the art room is... when Yamaguchi died in the art room. Indeed. That would be good enough for the reason we didn't find these on the second floor. This is Kinjo after all. Even if you investigate for a few minutes, they remain to solve all the cases. I can only put my reasoning up to this point. Even if Yamaguchi died in the art room, the mystery still remains unsolved. What? Which mystery? No matter where the body died, what you saw with your own eyes was Kakeru Yamaguchi who died in the library. Then, the corpse must have been moved by the killer, which in turn means they somehow moved from the art room to the library. Ah, that's a surprise method is helping us. How frustrating this is. Anyway, think carefully. The time of death of Kakeru Yamaguchi and the time until you found the body. Before starting the non-stop debates, we recommend that you hear about the spell bullet scan. Would you like to read the explanation? Well, yeah, this is new. In the case of an ordinary non-stop debate, multiple truth bullets are given, and it is common to fire a truth bullet suitable for the opponent's statement. In this case, however, you can scan a bullet from another friend's yellow statement to make it your own. To scan, press X or ask, while pointing the yellow text. However, if there is no specific skill for this, a considerable delay given to the scan, and if a friend's words miss during the scan will fail. Also, scanning a truth bullet doesn't mean it's the end, because you got a truth bullet that will be the correct answer. But you need to refute it by using the scan truth bullets as usual for the contradictory mark. You can't scan any statement either, you can only scan one truth bullet. Okay, is that all mechanic of like, I can use someone else's truth bullets, I can use someone else's words as a truth bullet. I can only scan one truth bullet at a time. If I waste it, I have to scan again. But if I don't use it, I carried it to the next cycle of the debate. Don't hesitate to scan if you hear any suspicious yellow comments. Finally, scan bullets don't disappear unless you shoot them for correct or incorrect answers. If you scan the wrong statement, the scan will disappear and we go back to the beginning. Okay, so if I scan wrong, it will just go back to the beginning. After scanning, you may skip all the comments and go back to the beginning, but in the scan state, your speaking power will not be reduced unless it is a mistake. So you can refute the correct answer with confidence. Oh. I'm gonna use the same artifice. Every time the Monokuma file shows up, I have to scan something. What's the mystery? The place where Yamaguchi died is the art room. He was in the art room around 8:40 at the time of death. At that time, we were already investigating the second floor. Was always in the hallway, there was no sign of anyone on the third floor. But how did Yamaguchi teleport to the library? That is the mystery. Reasoning is impossible, the contradictions don't stop. Wrong time of death. There is no such chance, because how is reading the Monokuma file is true. Goddamn, the occasion doesn't know we're drawing a blank here. This is bonkers. Why do murders always happen at all the time? Day or nights without any cover. They kill us. Ooh. Oh, fuck off. Without a friend skill. Are you kidding me? No possibility that Monokuma file was preparing advances it is informed by the time of death. If that's the case, it's not the Monokuma file that is wrong. It's us. We missed something very vital here. What do we miss from information provided in Monokuma file, compared to the previous Monokuma files? Information that was not added only for this file. This is something that I caught as soon as the Monokuma file showed up. It was over here. But it is this. Come on. Gimme! Why does it take so long? Up. Oh, the pointer is still there. Okay. Good news is to kind of chip it out a little bit. The place where Yamaguchi dies the art room. One more. One more. Okay. Usually the Monokuma file has AM and PM after the time of death. I caught it and accidentally commented it on the last stream, so that may have been a bit of a spoiler, but hey, I'm kind of smart, I guess. Sometimes I have a brain. Day and night. Day and night. Guys, wait a second. Wait, there is something that bothers me. What's wrong, Maida-kun? Does anyone have Yamaguchi's Monokuma file? I brought it the last time I checked. Why? Did you think of anything? Can you read? I was reading the Monokuma file without any mistakes, please. Okay. The estimated time of death of the victim, Kakeru Yamaguchi, is about 8:40. Found in the library, sharply cut from the back neck to the uvula. The weapon is presumed to be something sharp. No other visible trauma. Something is weird, is it not? Something is weird. What is? In this Monokuma file, it says that the time of death is 8:40, but it doesn't say at all whether it's AM or PM. Yeah. Huh? It's better than the police, am I right? It's better than the police, am I right? It was like that. Huh? I don't understand what we're talking about. Terry and Kobazin too, explain it to us. What? Hey! Why do you mention me to make me a fool? Did you understand that? Please explain, Maida. Okay, think for a moment. In the Monokuma file we've seen so far, it is seen so far clearly indicated whether it was in the morning or afternoon. The victim is Kyoka Maki. The estimated time of death is about 6 AM. The body was found with her neck hanging in the woman's bathroom in the dorm area. You don't have to go through everything. The victim is Tomori Kizuna. Estimated time of death 9:30 PM. The body was found in the switch room in the power room at the second floor of the school. There is a long torn wound on her stomach and the bleeding is massive. The cause of death is a cut wound on the esophagus caused by a knife. Ah, it really is. AM or PM are not reading this Monokuma file. It was a blind spot. I'm sure the Monokuma file is the only one that says the truth, but it's not being mistaken. Rather, it was us. It is not 8:40 AM. Real time of the incident took place the night before. It was 8:40 PM. Then Yamaguchi-kun, you're saying he was already dead since last night when we were walking around? Wait a minute. Aren't we jumping too fast here? Just because it doesn't say whether it was at morning or night, is that enough to conclude that he died the night before? Maybe Monokuma forgot and missed it in the first place. No, it's not a jump or a leap. Rather, this case cannot be solved unless it's this way. At first, I was fainted, so I thought I was lacking information, but considering the premise of 8:40 p.m., now the back and forth have started to fit. Still. Or do you want to ask Monokuma then? Huh? Until now, the Monokuma file always recorded the time of death in the morning or afternoon. But is there any reason for omitting that point, only in this occasion? Well, that's... No comment. If you ask me that, I'll be the one in the trial. I've said it again and again, I've decided not to meddle with the trial. This is a big no. The Monokuma file always gives only the right information, and based on it, helpful for reasoning. It's kind of a service system. But now, because of the Monokuma file, it's causing a confusion and misinformation. Becomes a useless debate. I think this is a problem, Monokuma. A problem? That... I can't help you now. It is not saying anything wrong. I just can't tell you. I'm pretty sure this is it. Monokuma files always and only tell the truth. But some may have felt it through this incident so far, right? According to the content of each case, the description of the content is adjusted accordingly and properly orchestrated. It was orchestrated. In simple terms, it's like this. For example, let's say that a killer wants to implement a whole body trick for that purpose. In that case, in a Monokuma file, it would be, he was drunk with X. Indeed, it's a delicate system that makes me sick. That's it. The Monokuma file is only a tool that helps with the investigation, not a tool to tell the truth. Because then, you guys will pay the price. It seems like you... Whoa. I didn't press anything. That's why the timelines are subtracted from the Monokuma file. Very strange, isn't it? I have no idea what I said. I didn't press anything, it just skipped. What's that? I can't hear you. I don't know anything, la la la. What's bound to happen? In fact, because of this time trick, I almost got us very badly. We were drastically wrong at those moments. What a weird phrase. No, it certainly looks that way. But are we really sure? The game got quiet. But are we really... Oh! God damn it. Without certain evidence, it would be just an inference based on Monokuma's words and circumstances. Why are you so negative? Did someone stab you? It's not like that. I just want to be sure. Sure. It's not like we don't understand it. Well, if that's the case, I'll be sure to submit evidence as Haruhiko said. Shall we try it? You have evidence? Yes, before I used to think about whether this was done in the morning or at night. But I knew the timeline trick was... and there was some solid evidence to support that claim. The question I felt during the investigation, I could feel it while I was examining Yamaguchi's body. If Yamaguchi was dead for the day, because of these questions are understandable. That question is... stop bleeding. If he was killed during the day, why did he stop bleeding? He should have still be bleeding. Oh. Big mug of coffee. God damn. The proof is simple. Yamaguchi's wound was not bleeding. Huh? That's not it, is it? It was because the library was a bloodbath. That's obvious. That is the case, but anyone who has examined the body in detail could have felt a sense of something misplaced. The blood is recent in contrast to the library. Yamaguchi himself, though, did not have a single drop of blood coming out from his neck cut. You saw that? I didn't really check the body in detail. Definitely. It felt strange too, when I heard about Yamaguchi's time of death and thought about it again. If things connected in some way. And then let's sort this out. The blood was far gone. Is that what it means? It's been some time since he died, so he died, so the blood has already stopped. I see. It supports the idea that Yamaguchi-kun was already dead yesterday evening. Wait a minute, please. Sure, that may be true, but what happened to the blood in the library? The blood was not dry, it was just flowing. The blood in the library is just a diversion for the criminal to make us think like Yamaguchi just died. The blood that filled the library was probably what the killer. Don't mess with me. That too would be in the infirmary. There it is. Missing blood packs. Do you know there is a refrigerator in the infirmary that keeps blood transfusion packs? Oh, it was for storage of the transfusion packs. I think I brought one for the injured man to drink when he was thirsty. What? No, inside there are a lot of transfusion packs for each blood type. I found out during my investigation this morning that the blood transfusion packs inside were gone. I didn't know because I'm going to go to the infirmary, as Maida said. The blood in the library. It was a pool of blood made by transfusion packs. It was a run of flies. It was like that. It was a little weird when you think about it. I think I saw too much blood. In the beginning, Yamaguchi must have been killed in the art room, but it's also strange that there was so much blood in the library. It can be said that they disguised him too much. From there, when it comes to the time of death, I have a guess. Maida, do you remember? When your trial was about to begin, we met in the hallway on the second floor when I just woke up. Ah, are you talking about that time? Yeah, I definitely told Maida about this. Right before being stunned by the killer, I saw Yamaguchi bleeding and fainted. Wait, what? Wait, obviously Kinzo was attacked, but... Kinjo, of course. It was a nighttime yesterday. There was a typo. Then Yamaguchi-kun was... Monokuma files, some bleeding, blood transfusion packs, what Kinjo mentioned. I can only say that if the evidence comes out one after another up to this point, then we can make sure of things properly. Alright then, now everyone knows for sure. Kakeru Yamaguchi was not dead at 8:40 this morning, but at 8:40 PM yesterday at night. So that's how it happened. Pretty good, Incompetence. I'll praise you on this one. I mean, you were locked up anyway, so you didn't know that. Shut up. Don't pretend to be all smartass. But oh well, I admit it for a little bit. I know the killer as I said before, but I was not sure about the trick. I tell you that my gaze on incompetent has changed by about 0.1%. That was a compliment, right? I guess all the mysteries have been solved because Yamaguchi was already dead yesterday. The trick for Unity was solved too. This also includes the movement of the blood spots, and the corpse all over the place was indeed solved as well. However, the real issue begins after this. Then who is the killer? That is the problem we have on our hands. That's... Yeah, it's too early to be happy just yet. Even if we solve all the tricks, mysteries and questions, if we don't know about the culprits, then it's a bad outcome. But if the contents so far are true, the criminal deliberately wanted to make 8:40 PM and 8:40 AM different. The time was surely calculated for the murder, right? Also spraying a blood transfusion pack even had the guts too. Also spraying a blood transfusion pack, and they even had the guts to kill 2 people and attack up to 3 people in a single night. Yeah, this case is somewhat impulsive and different from 2 previous cases, which I consider semi-accidents. And similar to this was a planned murder committed with a crime plan. Kindo's words are correct. Unlike the previous 2 incidents, I feel a firm malice. Are they really among us? A killer who carefully murdered like this? Kinjo, what should we do in this case? If all the tricks are really solved, and if you only need to find a culprit, you should start with an alibi. Since you know the real time of death of Yamaguchi, you will naturally know who the killer is, if you look at each alibi based on this. Alibi? You mean? Let's weigh each one. First of all, tell me what everyone did at 8:40 PM yesterday, the real time of death of Yamaguchi. Yesterday at 8:40 PM. At that time, surely, wasn't it the time Tara was making a fuss? Tara's fuss? Oh yeah, that. Tara tried to kill herself last night. It's no big deal. Tara just got hurt a little. I was there. It's irrelevant for the case. Kako-chan. Right, so that leaves Kurokawa, Otori and I, who were there. Hiranami, Kobashikawa, and the five of us were supporting Tara. When I recall that, I think it was around 8:40 PM. Okay. If so, I think you can remove the 6 of you from the suspect line. Good. So the only ones left are the Psycho Cop, the priest, and me. Huh? But isn't it weird? Those 3 are 3 people who passed out because they were aimed by the criminal. It's nothing you need to think too hard. I don't want to doubt this, but in this case there's only one possibility. There is proof that one of the testimonies was lying. Oh? In between these 3, someone lied. First, let's be honest as possible. Why don't you tell us what we were doing at 8:40 PM yesterday? I was in the 3rd floor area. I was hanging out on the casino side. Unfortunately, no one can testify for this, but I was also checking the front door. But as I mentioned, I can't prove it because there was no one around. Same here. What? There are no witnesses for the other 3. Everyone was busy keeping the scissors away from Tyra, was running around. So like, yeah, there is no witnesses, unless you consider the dead bodies witnesses, but like, they can't really tell stories anymore. So you're saying all 3 are possible to commit a crime? Well, one of the 3 was not attacked by the killer, but what if they pretend to be attacked? I'm sorry, but Kinjo, Uehara, Mekaru, can you tell us the situation when you guys were attacked at dawn? If this solves your doubts. When it was a little over 3 AM, I was on the way to the 1st floor to the 2nd floor. And I usually went to the library side, so I moved there. When I went inside, Yamaguchi was down. I figured he was already dead by now, but at that time it was necessary to find out if Yamaguchi was simply stunned or dead. But as I was trying to approach him, you were ambushed. Right. Normally, I know I was nervous, but I think I was off guard for a moment. Probably the killer aimed for that point. And they show Yamaguchi's body to me. They showed it to you? Yeah, do you understand what I mean? Since Yamaguchi has been moved to the library, it was not as bloody as it is now. Then, in addition to simply confuse with Inori, they use it as a bait to attract Kinjo? Excuse me. I wonder why I was only stunned and not killed. But they will regret it. In return for keeping me alive, I will find them out and they will be punished accordingly. It was a similar situation for me, but it was probably earlier than Kinjo's. I was attacked near the stairs while trying to go up the 3rd floor. How about Mekaru? Well, it was roughly similar. I was attacked near the art room and lost my sight somehow, and when I woke up I was inside the locker. But it all happened in the middle of the night, right? Now it seems that all 3 people were attacked at different times and there were no witnesses, so how do we know who the killer is? No, Even if they were just attacked, doesn't it seem a little different in the method? The method? The attack method. Kinjo and Uehara, I know that we saw them get directly beaten and bleeding, but Makaru was not bleeding, not assaulted in any way. Then you think Makaru is the culprit? Do I have to tell you every little thing now? It's chloroform, that's what they did. What? You're a merchant. So it was chloroform they used. It sounds rare, but it comes out in use for a lot of things. For example, tap your mouth with a handkerchief. That could be an effective way to get someone in a coma. You mean that stuff is in the school too? If you had searched the science lab with even a little interest, you would have been able to find it right away. But it seems your stupidity is not going anyway. Remembering the moment just before the attack must have been a handkerchief that was put in my mouth. Okay, is that what it was? Who really is the culprit? When it comes to alibi, one of these three are still a suspect. Don't think about the process. Let's consider the cause. Why were they ambushed? Why only them? Why them? Well, the killer is a little strange. It wasn't enough to kill 2 people, so they attacked 3 other people. If you put it simply, isn't it because they wander around at time? And wow, if they had some alarm for vibrations preparing in advance. Or if the corpse were found, it would be a headache. Maybe, but... Oh, I have a little guess. I didn't say this because I wasn't sure, but the cell phone was used to kill Inori disappeared after it was attacked. I mentioned this to you too, Maida, didn't I? Oh yes, you were looking for it in the 2nd floor hallway, right? Oh yeah, Uehara-kun had the tools necessary for the crime, so they attacked him and took it from him. I see. Then there was a reason for Uehara's ambush. That's the reason. Why did he attack Kinjo? If Kinjo moves normally at the time of the crime, it would be difficult for the culprit to get out. Plus, he's the ultimate police officer, right? That was also the results of the 2 previous cases. Actually, in this case, Kinjo is struggling like that because the trial began without Kinjo's collecting of clues, right? Even though I did research properly, your tone seems to pass it out to me. Hey, let's not do that. In the trial phase, Kinjo's life is also at risk, you know. Starting to fail. Just 12 AM, why I'm starting to fail? An hour and a half of talking, that's why. Wow, it seems like you can see the truth after coming this far. Huh? I've been suspicious of it, but when I think about the information I've gotten so far, I can see the silhouette of only one person, the killer. I believe some of you might have realized it. How about it? The killer's silhouette can be seen. Why do you mean, Kinjo-kun? You're not the killer. Everyone's remarks so far with the outline of the case and the alibis combined makes a person who is making contradictory statements. That person is the true culprit of this case. Contradictory statements. Is it them? If the alibis were all true, the culprit must be one between Kinjo, Uehara, or Makaru. The one who made a contradictory statement among them is Uehara. I said this in the beginning as well. Sometimes the answer is not the who, it is the how, and the why, and the when. And this case is also somewhat similar to how Celeste's case was. There is some similarities, it's not similar. In any case. Don't tell me. Was it you? Uehara. Kinji Uehara. Huh? What in blazes? I don't have a reason to quit. I'm not going perfectly so far, so let's go. Let's go. Resume. Kinji Uehara, was it you? Wait a minute. Uehara? This guy. Can you elaborate why is it me? I'm not entirely convinced, yet. But according to Kinjo, the killer said contradictory things. An alibi? If you are the one who said contradictions with your words without an alibi. There's only you, Uehara. Contradictory words. When did Uehara say those? Do you guys remember what Uehara said moments ago? He said after Uehara was attacked by the criminal in the middle of the night, the cell phone that he had before then disappears. However, this statement doesn't make sense. Does it make sense? I'm not sure what you mean. I'm not convinced about this. It's just speculation, but I couldn't think of anything else other than this as contradictory words. I'll explain so everyone can understand. First, it was 8:40 PM yesterday that the culprit killed Yamaguchi, right? If that's the case, then the culprit would have started destroying evidence after the cell phone shut up in the corner. My cell phone. My cell phone is working, I'm not the culprit. Shut up. Such as hiding the spills or wiping the blood. And at this point, Inori must have been held in the hands of the culprit as well. Do you guys remember? Inori's white coat was used for wiping the blood of Yamaguchi. Looking at this, it would be no exaggeration to say that Inori and Yamaguchi were both aimed at the same time. And everyone knew how Inori died. Inori died from a remote murder using a mobile phone alarm. She was killed in a truly planned crime. Just by seeing that they had already removed the white coat and used it to wipe Yamaguchi's blood, it was a bold move that was possible because everything was planned and prepared. To summarize this, they killed Yamaguchi first with a full preparation, brought Inori into the trick just as planned. It must be said that everything was going according to their plan. Other preparations were completed since the beginning of the time they were attacked. Otherwise, they would have gambled on remaining risks. Indeed, after all those preparations. But then, what's weird about that? Don't you realize? Uehara said that his cell phone was stolen in the middle of the night. Could a perpetrator who acted so thoroughly and deliberately carried out such bold actions with a mobile phone not in hands? Wait a minute. As Maeda said, at the beginning of the killing, Inori that way, at the time of killing Inori that way and attacking from yesterday night, it must be said that they already devised a trick using a mobile phone. If they didn't have a cell phone in hands, you would think and act first, and then attack Uehara without knowing whether or not he would succeed to take the cell phone. However, the cell phone was in Uehara's possession since he found it. So how did the killer steal the phone from Uehara? It was either a prepaid or it was never done in the first place. Prepaid. The answer to this question is very simple. If you were Uehara, you would have been able to execute the plan without any difficulty. Uehara did something like this. You are the culprit who killed Inori and Yamaguchi. Huh. Oh, hey now. What's so funny? No, I apologize. But isn't that a little funny? I'm a mother who believes in gods and does the teachings of the father. This is outrageous. I become a vampire. So Uehara-kun isn't the killer, he's not? Right. Of course, I'm not the culprit. If I say that, would you believe me? Huh? According to your reasoning so far. In the beginning. Again with that. I'm the only one who meets the conditions of being the culprit. But I can't believe you guys by just saying that I'm the culprit in such a situation. Well, I'm 99.99% certain that you are the culprit. Then can I prove myself with the remaining 0.01%? What? I said according to your reasoning. Which means, if your reasoning is wrong, I will not become the culprit either. Are you saying I have room to argue with? Of course. But now on, let me prove my innocence by showing what your reasoning is wrong. Are you prepared? Oh. The reason you point me as the culprit is because I don't have an alibi at the time of the crime at a nighttime. And the contradictory words about the cell phone, correct? There is nothing I can say about an alibi, but it's nothing but an assertion that you say that I'm the culprit with just that. So let me show you why it's not strange at all if I had my phone stolen that night. Your reasoning is well put. Oh, I always forget that I have to cut them. But is that really the right answer? Did you know the premise is wrong? I think I know what it is. For example, would Yamaguchi really be dead at 8:40 in the evening? I was all over early. Yamaguchi is relevant because because by evening Inori was already captured. It doesn't make sense that his cell phone was removed after nighttime. Would a killer who have worked so much act rashly without preparation? I'm talking about before that. Was there Yamaguchi or Inori were caught at 8:40 in the evening? Was the next morning was he found the body? He felt about it that what? Even at 8:30 in the evening, or in the night time. Does it make sense that there's no one who goes to the library at the afternoon? So this is what Uehara is saying. In other words, if Yamaguchi died at 8:40 PM, Inori was captured, someone could have found the body until the morning after. He's not entirely mistaken. No matter how late the night was, the three of them, Mekaru, Kinjo, and Uehara, decided to not follow the rules. What rules? So they were able to walk freely. Even if they were attacked because of this, according to their testimony, they say they were attacked at night. 8:40 PM, more than 1 hour remained until nighttime officially began. Does it make sense that no other person other than Kinjo and Mekaru couldn't find Yamaguchi or Inori? No. You don't have to think too much about the time of death. This is Uehara's argument to escape doubt somehow. If they could put a body somewhere without being noticed by anyone before the attack. I know what it is. I just don't know the ones because there's a lot of text to read. Uehara is surprisingly quiet guy, is talking a lot. I just don't know which one it is. Maybe it's the first one. Or are you just saying that Uehara was dead 8:40 PM? Is there a way to prove? Inori was already captured. It doesn't make sense that the cell phone was removed after nighttime. Would the killer who worked so much act rashly without preparation? I'm talking about before that. But Yamaguchi and Inori were caught at 8:40 in the evening means that it was next morning when we found the body. Maybe it was that one. If the body was there until then, would it have been possible to be found? God damn it. No, I get it, the Korean. God damn. Oh. Is it a bloody locker? Maybe it is a bloody... I think it is a bloody locker. And not Makar's testimony. But the Yamaguchi were caught it for the evening means it was the next morning that we found the body. If we left the body there until then, would it have been possible to find out? There we go. You left the corpse alone. Do you really believe that? Do you have any evidence to deny this? Hold on. I gotta cough a little bit more. I should have brought tea instead of coffee. Goddamn. Do you have any evidence to deny this? Of course. Remember the locker where Makoru was kept inside. Inside the locker was covered in blood. Makoru did not bleed, so what's the reason for this? And as Makoru said earlier, she said the method they used was chloroform, so they didn't bleed for any injury. If that's the case, someone else was in there inside, dropping blood. That's right, Yamaguchi's corpse must have been inside the locker when he died recently. And then the killer stunned Makoru and Kinjo, the only eyes who wandered around the nighttime. That's it. Then after attacking Makoru, they moved Yamaguchi's body to the library and put Makoru in his place, right? To be precise, they struck Makoru ahead of me, then stunned her. They moved the corpse to the library, which made me off guard. This is the order in which they were attacked. Capturing Inori, killing Yamaguchi, and stuns Makoru. Last step, it was aimed at me. But I don't think now, Ohara. The reasoning we made in front of us was fundamentally no issues. No matter what excuse you try to argue, it will be the same. It's really hard to believe it, but if you're the real culprit, don't drag this longer and confess. Doubting anyone like this is something that I don't want to do anymore. As Maida says, it's unbelievable that this guy's the culprit. A quiet, devout believer of God, becoming a murderer that killed 2 people. There is no evidence, no excuse for reasoning about this unusual act of being a Christian. We just have to focus on picking out one person who can only be seen as the culprit. So then, what are you going to do now, murderer? Uehara. Yes, I apologize. I was wrong. Are you admitting it? No, I adopted your reasoning. By the time when Yamaguchi dies, and the time difference tricks him to be all correct. So according to that reasoning, Uehara is the only one who remains as a culprit. Definitely not. Everyone has alibis except for me, Makoru, and Kinjo. But because I'm the one who kept the cell phone, I'm being mistaken for the culprit. What do you mean by mistaken? You are the culprit. There's nothing to doubt, and you have nothing else to say. Are you still unaware of all the conditions that can be committed when all of them are pointing at you? I am aware that I'm the only one who meets the criminal's conditions. Among the living people, that is. What? This guy. How long are you going to force this? What is being forced here is that I'm the culprit, but I am not. But because you guys are so driven by this, it's no wonder you're so desperately trying to get me to accept these charges, aren't you? If that's the case, I have to point myself being innocent as the Blackens, and everyone will die together. Twist Tama like that, so you're not a culprit, is that it? You fool, they're trying to trick us like that. We can't be sure of that. I'm not convinced that Uehara is the culprit at all. You guys are stupid. Just now you noticed. What? What did you say? All the evidence points to Uehara as a culprit, and now the tricks are undeniable. Why is Uehara still fighting? Is that something to make any conclusive objection? No, there still remains one path to make you consider me not being as the culprit. I hope after you hear this, you will change your mind. Among the living people, what do you mean? Think carefully. There must have been someone who would commit a crime beside me. For example, Kanata Inori. I mean... Inori is dead though. Why did the culprit kill 2 people in the first place? Doesn't that feel odd? This is my idea. Inori kills Yamaguchi and then she kills herself. Stupid. Do you really think that makes sense? Oh, it doesn't make sense. Inori is also capable of committing a series of crimes. You won't know that best. Obviously, there's no alibi, but in order to tape herself and die by dropping a cell phone, suicide doesn't seem possible. And then Inori is not a culprit. In other words, it's like according to my reasoning, Inori killed Yamaguchi at 40. After hiding Yamaguchi in the locker, she went through the hallway at night time and was ambushed and attacked after the other victim. For the last act, she went to the science lab, she had set up, tied herself and waited for the alarm to go off. Nope, that's the... No, goddamn. Started testimony saying that the science lab was locked when she went to look for the seizure. Isn't really the culprit? After killing Yamaguchi, did she also commit suicide? That can be true. The conclusive evidence that makes Inori unable to commit this act, that's definitely something someone told me. If Inori is the culprit, finishing everything and then going to the end with her death, there seems to be room for an objection there. Think carefully. Also, I'm seeing the effects of Inori's skill right here, by the way. At some points I got a 4th heart. I don't know where that came from. Not Inori, Tanaka. Tanaka skill is first aid. Every time I conclude one of the investigation thingies, my health comes up. Yamaguchi, after hiding Yamaguchi in the locker, it was ambushed and attacked. No, next one. She went to the science lab. I keep healing. Uehara, that's wrong. Your rebuttal is full of contradictions. Is it, Maeda? Why is that? All of you were in the dormitory at night time, and attacking Kinjo, Makoru, and me would not have been possible for Inori at all. Impossible for Inori at all. As you say, Inori killed Yamaguchi, attacked Makoru, Kinjo, and Nahara, finished all the work including the blood transfusion packs, and finally went to the science lab to prepare to commit suicide, right? Yes, and no one saw it, which means you can deny Inori's crime. There are no means, am I right? No, they saw it. The reason why Inori can't be the culprit is because someone saw it. What? Taira, you must have been around that time, right? By the science room just before nighttime yesterday, you said the door didn't open. Oh, yes, the door didn't open. It's weird, right? According to Uehara's words, Inori at that time, after moving Yamaguchi's corpse and attacking Kinjo, etc., you need to be prepared, but why didn't the science lab door open? That's right. The answer will come out eventually, because Inui was already tied up in the science lab at the time. Ah, but of course, it would be impossible to open the door from outside if you want to walk through the entrance. If Inui was committing a crime from outside at the time, the science lab has already been clasped. It would be a huge contradiction. Wait a minute. Why do you think, Uehara? Can you still say that Inui can commit crimes? Wait and listen. Just because the science lab was locked, doesn't mean it was locked with a latch. When Tara tried to enter, the door could have been locked with the lock function attached to the door itself. Oh my, but then what about this? As a result of my investigation, I found out that the door to the science lab did not have a lock function. There was no space to apply a key lock in the first place. It's all over Uehara Kinji. No further rebuttal is possible. No confessing good faith. Uehara, please stop and admit it. Whoa. Uehara? Why are you? I thought I was lucky that I defeated Tsurugi Kinji and Makoto Rei, but why? Why could a trash without talents like you could drive me to this point? Uehara, you know, your character collapsed. Uehara, calm down a little. Jesus. Jesus says I. Shut up, you bitches. This trash. This bitch broke down my plan simply because you tried to open the damn door to the science lab. It's all over. I just heard it loud and clear. Doesn't matter if it is a confession, right? So you came down in the end from mental breakdown. It's pathetic. Shut up, shut up, shut up! I'm still here. Wait. Wait and see. That you? Yes. That's it. That's it. I still need proof. There's no evidence. If I'm the culprit, show me evidence. Calm now. You're the only one who doesn't have an alibi, right? Shut up, you ex-word bastards. You wanna get stuck in the ground from head to toe, huh? Why do you suddenly turn into such a vile criminal? Not like a criminal, but he is a criminal. So I won't admit it, even though you are the only one who could do this. Just ignore him involved, will you? If you look at what Uehara just said, that's the point of incapacitated Kinji and Makoto. And this is almost like a confession, right? I'll kill you! I'm gonna kill the bastards who are going to vote right now, threatening me as a criminal without evidence at all. I'd like to think it is all done. What do we do? Just vote. Uehara, if I show you the evidence, are you going to finally admit it? Oh, I'll admit it. If that is evidence like that, not speculative remarks or alibi blanks, real physical evidence, you bastard. That might be. What? Maeda, you know this, but it's only going to be slow if we let him catch the holes with more evidence. Unfortunately, I can't help you there, because I have nothing more to come up with. We'll be okay. Yes, it's okay. Uehara is not saying he's just going to forcefully screen against the opponents. I'll make sure to present the proof correctly, and then we'll finally admit it. Don't joke around. What happened there? Excuse me. Don't joke around, Yuki Maeda. You're just lucky, incompetent human being. Uehara, from now on, I show conclusive evidence that you are the culprit of this case. It may be a little sloppy, but if my predictions are correct, you will have no other choice but to admit it. Ha! This is fun for you. Do it then. Do whatever you want. If it is evidence or unreasonableness, I'll make you a criminal executor myself. For making fun of an innocent person. Uehara is certainly not saying right now. And about this evidence, I can't say for sure. But I do believe, not only in me, but I believe in my friends too. Terminating shooting talk would begin. No, I'm fine. Let's exercise this evil. I'll kill you. Became so violent all of a sudden. He's the only one who became a psychopath. I mean, Higa was also kinda off the hinges for a while, but he didn't go this crazy. Ow! Shoot it! Your statements are speculations. There's no real evidence that says I'm the culprit. Makaru's last trump card. Last trump card. Card. Break. Bahara, unfortunately for you, there's already clear evidence of a crime. It can only be said to be the culprit, with this conclusive physical evidence. What? That's nothing like that. What is that, Maida-kun? That's... Unfortunately, I do not know. Huh? Stop joking around. However, Makaru knows it. Makaru? Hold on. Where did this confirmation come from? You aren't trying to rely on my reasoning, are you? Makaru told you, didn't you? No matter what happens, she has an insurance to cover her life. With the aspect of the trial remains unsolved, and there is a corner with no answer, you will show us the last piece of evidence. Insurance? Maybe there's something only that woman knows. It's a little frustrating, but I know this isn't the time. I'll say all of this. Wait a minute. I did in fact say that to incompetent, but it's not like that. The killer's already cornered and running crazy, right? Why do you think I'm going to tell you now? This woman doesn't even want to cooperate in this situation. Look at us, Makaru. We are believing in you. So, are you finished then? It's over. After all, Maida's been bluffing and throwing in unfounded accusations. Your proof is a Makaru that doesn't even want to cooperate. This is just great. She knows nothing. There's no physical evidence that I'm the culprit. Me not know anything. Huh? Makaru, are you angry? The nasty pig killer. Where do you want your funeral? Can you tell me? Are you going to try provocation at this stage? Fine. I'll write your will then. It doesn't matter if I vote for Kinjo Uehara and the end of the trial as it is. But if I do, it feels like I'm just being beaten. Here. Whatever you're talking about. Maybe I'll remember it. When I was investigating after the incident, I asked all of you to show me your right hands. Yeah, you... everyone. You did, but I didn't know the meaning of it. You did. You did a strange act on all of us. Wait, I didn't know about this. You didn't do that to me, right? You woke up late. I didn't have a chance to do that. Well, there are some mysteries that were solved before that. After asking for my right hand to show, she held me tight as if wrapping my right hand. Was there something about that? I was surprised. I wasn't really sure what it was. I don't think she was that kind of person. But what's up with that? The reason I did that was to check the back of her right hand. The reason I wrapped it with my hand was because I needed darkness. Darkness? If you're wondering what I'm talking about, why don't you all give it a try? Look at the dark side by covering the back of your right hand. Dark side. It's all clear here. Even if you ask me to wrap it up, it's just the back of my hands? Why do you expect me to see? Well, I definitely told you to try it. Everyone. Why are you staying still, Kinjo Uehara? Uehara? Hey, stay still, you. Let me go. Go away. Hey, what the hell is this on the back of your hand? I don't know. I don't know anything. Oh please, you must know. What you got there is luminous paint. Luminous paint. I was marked by you? Don't joke around. You and I never met at the time of the crime. There would have been a time to be marked like this. Oh my, why are you saying that? You definitely met me with me, right? When you put me to sleep with chloroform. I don't know what you're talking about. So instead you think I'm the culprit, is that it? And if that's what the case, is it obvious that the killer attacked you? But why? But here you're just claiming that you've used luminous paint in my hand just because that's your own opinion. I'm sorry, Makoto, but this is impossible without knowing in advance that you'll be attacked. This is why you guys are so pathetic. Did you think I wasn't prepared for anything and going as usual every night? Prepared? You? No way. The one who put this luminous paint, it was you. That's right. You think I'm stupid enough and I'll just trust you guys when I don't know the outcome. Before Maki Kyoka died, I was also prepared for anything. Well, besides the glowing paints, I have prepared other tricks. I am a woman, I have no idea who and when someone will attack me. So I try to use glowing paints only in the worst case scenario. Worst case scenario? Are you saying even if you die, through the glowing paints we can find out who did it? Is that what you mean? By the way, Makoto's selection of words just feels a little erratic. Okay. Fortunately, I only fainted this time, but my life was in danger. Should I say that I was lucky? I was trying to use luminous paint for the purpose of something else, like a dying message. But I can only live like this and drive off the killer's smug face with one sentence. But even so, at some point I could have... You're an idiot, aren't you? If you're curious, you better think about which hand you put chloroform in my mouth. Ugh. In other words, Makoto said that a killer put his hand on her mouth, meaning you applied the glowing paints before fainting, just before you lost consciousness. Makoto, what a scary person. What do you think? Are you still going to hit the ball killer? Not yet. All she said is just lies, because I just rubbed this glowing paint by myself yesterday. That's nothing to do with this now. This woman is the culprit. You just said something you don't know about with your own mouth just a few moments ago. What are you talking about? Don't make me laugh. Don't joke around. Another culprit. Another culprit, okay? Uehara, stop it now. It's already over. Don't make me laugh. Jeez. This guy's worse than Teru. And Teru was already was kinda likable. He was a pervert, but I actually like Teru. He was too much of a pervert. But that's his only flaw, really. There is no one on your side already, Uehara. Speaking any more than this is nothing more than a futile effort. If you're still not willing to admit it, I'll organize the case from the beginning. I'll let you admit. You have no choice but to admit it. I'm fine. Now the problem I've been having with this climax thing is that when he starts to talk, he goes through every single sentence that was said during the case, everything that was discovered. Usually this is just said to say like, what was the steps of the killer? And when he has to say something that was discovered in the case, it needs to be something... it's usually something that needs to be said in order to clarify a situation. For example, let me think of an example. The second game. And on the third class trial of the second game, when they are discussing like, oh, and then the killer, he locked the disco, he locked the Tiri Typhoon. With what? He made a trick with the door of the Tiri Typhoon using a beat stick. By breaking a beat stick and leave it on the floor, and then he used glue to seal up the Tiri Typhoon. When we actually do the investigation, we make it look like, at the first impression of... Let me rephrase that. During the investigation, we discovered the door to the Tiri Typhoon. Let me do this while I'm doing this. Like the whole investigation of the Tiri Typhoon. What is the first thing? He noticed Fender's body was tied up in order to not be able to move after waking up. He noticed being electrified now. I boldly attacked Makaru. He captured... oh, right, this one. He killed Yamaguchi and put him in a lock. And there's nothing here. He cleaned up the weapon, he cleaned up the floor, he put the weapon back. Okay. Then he taped up Inori. Here we go. He did this whole trick, taped up Inori, yada yada, okay. And here Macro was attacked. Put in the locker. What are these eyes? Macro was attacked, and the whole library trick happens. Down, where is it? Brought transfusion packs were used under Inori. Then here there's the whole thing about finding him, knocked down on the floor. Kaede finds Tsurugi. We find Makaru. After joining with Makaru together, we open the door to the science lab. At the same time, the self-form goes off. And Tanaka is electrified. Like, let's just go forward and then I continue talking. First, the start of the class the case begins with the criminal attack Yamaguchi and Inori. I don't know why the two were targeted by the culprits. But the killer must have taken Yamaguchi by some means first. Then they took him to the arts room and sliced Yamaguchi's neck. The time this took place was 8:40, which is also listed in the Monokuma file. However, this was not at 8:40 AM, it was last night at 8:40 PM. In other words, the killer committed a bold crime while we were still roaming around the place. Afterwards, the killer put a corpse in a locker on the arts room to hide Yamaguchi's body. The culprit who succeeded in killing Yamaguchi immediately focused his efforts on dealing with the crime scene. They opened the top that prevented blood from splattering, cleaned up the murder weapon used as the intake, then wiped the blood with Inori's white coats that had been removed beforehand. However, by using the tarp, a small hole was left due to the killer's mistake, and the white coat was not properly erased. Thanks to this, it is clear a lot of circumstances surrounding the matters of disposal. Anyway, as the arts room Where Yamaguchi was killed became clean. This time they devised a trick to kill a second victim, Inori. That's right, it involves the phone and stun gun. It was a method of electrocuting by drowning in water, and the stun gun did predetermined time using a vibration function. Asleep. To do this, the killer went to the science lab and first fixed Inori's whole body with tape to keep them from moving. And the water from the sink in the science lab was turned on to the maximum capacity. After a few hours in the state, the science lab was overflowing with water like a bathhouse. There's one more thing. The killer connected the phone to the stun gun and placed it at an angle as if it were far from the desk. And they set the phone alarm to 8:30 AM. When this happens, the alarm turns on the next morning and the phone makes a vibration movement in minutes. And then the phone starts to fall off along with the stun gun because of the vibration. When everything was set in stone, the killer locked the door with a latch so no one would interfere with the tricks arranged in the lab. Stairgate, yeah. After everything was done, the killer probably thought most of them, including me, won't come out of the private rooms because it was nighttime hours. But the problem was that Kinjo and Makaru went around openly at nighttime. As long as they thought that the time when the crime was done in the morning and the trick that everything was set in advance to discover in the middle of the night, everything would be over by then, for them. So the killer thought to keep Kinjo and Makaru from moving until the morning after. First, the killer attacked Makaru with chloroform and brought her into the art room. They took out Yamaguchi's body that had been in the locker until then and put Makaru inside instead. Finds. And then Yamaguchi's body was used as bait to lure Kinjo. The killer put Yamaguchi's corpse in the library, made some extra work to make Kinjo discover the body, and then attacked Kinjo from behind with a vigilant gap. Then Kinjo and Makaru were successfully disabled, and no one could interfere. The killer took a breather and started one last final act. Once the morning was near, the killer went to the infirmary and packed a large amount of blood transfusion packs. And spread it in Yamaguchi's body, to make it look like it just died and the bleeding was fresh. And then he sprinkled a certain amount of blood on themselves, as to make it look like they were ambushed by the killer. In the morning after last night, of so many things happening at once, we noticed that a few people were missing, so we moved to search. But then in each room of the school. Then we met with the killer, who was lying down near the stairs after we divided into two groups. We decided to search the second and third floors. And the search in the second floor found the fallen Kinjo. The search for the third floor found a trapped Makaru. Afterwards, when a member of the third floor checks for an abnormality in the science lab and tries to open the door, the mobile phone and the stun gun hit the water at the killer's preset time, falling. Into the water, killing Inori on the spot. Soon after, we managed to open the door to the science lab. At a time that couldn't be more ideal for the killer, Inori's body and Yamaguchi's body were found almost simultaneously. The one who has done a formidable job, who killed 2 people overnight plus injured 2 people. The identity of this heinous and cruel criminal. Okay, this one was short. But the last 2, it had extra information. A little bit too much information. Like, it's almost every single thing that was discovered during the class trial had to be like put and explained in the panels, even if the panel didn't say anything about it. Instead of just cut to the chase, like. But no, this one is fine. This one is fine. Hopefully it stays like this. Kinjo Uehara. There is no place to run anymore, Uehara. Oh. Uehara? Excellent. As Maida said, no matter how bad it was, this is it. It seems this was my limit. What? All of a sudden he came back to normal. Was that it? He must have been acting like Hatano. That means... Did you just admit it? That you are the culprit? Yeah, I am. I am the culprit. And this time I got points. Gimme. That's how I get. I'd rather just fail. They're just gonna get 108. Are you kidding me? Give me 500. I don't care if I'm not gonna use them. I want 500. I gotta cheat. You know what? I'm gonna cheat. Well now, I've been watching everything. It seems okay to say that you made a decision at this point. This time, no matter how much I played the role of the judge, I'm really sad because it seems to have been too much of a dead weight. How to get rid of this anger? It's a vote time for anger. Because this happened, you guys will now have to vote with the switch in front of you. The result of this voting? Okay. By the way, whoa, again. I swear I didn't press anything. I just skip. I guess if I go too fast, it just auto skips for some reason. It was a priest. Ah yes, as for the results of your votes, your choice was... The correct answer, the identity of the black gun who killed 2 people, Miss Inori and Yamaguchi-kun, was Kinji Uehara. Huh? What is it? Someone thought I was gonna say those lines before voting. Uehara-kun. From the second half of the trial, we've been almost certain of it, I guess. Why did you kill them? I'm sorry. You're sorry. There's no excuse. That's all I have to say after killing someone. Plus killing 2 of a group. You know what? That makes you a serial killer. Weren't you very agitated and arguing back a little while ago, Uehara? Why did you suddenly become so quiet? Only thought that more talk would delay the inevitable. I had a reason to leave and survive this trial, even if I had to do that sin. That's right. If you found out what you did the murder, you are going to die. He already knew that's the moment he was caught. No, that's not the reason I did it. That's not it? Your motive? Was there something else? Motive. He got murdered to get out and escape. Told me it was the secret note. Does that mean the original motive of all these events is also the same this time? Was it the motive this time? The thing that you desperately wanted in that video? And that you wished for? You mean you had a wish that you wanted to get by killing 2 people? Wrong. There are a few things I must correct you before that. You are right about everything. The plan and killing are correct, but I didn't mean to kill 2 people from the start. Huh? You may look at this as an excuse, but only then that person's death will become colorless, so let me speak. Maida, your reasoning is wrong. The only person I was going to kill was Kanata Inori. You did it in the end. It was too late and also too clumsy to plan serial killings. Your execution had a sense of improvisation. First, according to the rules of the school, serial killings would be more damaging than profitable for the culprit. So what? Were you trying to kill 1 person to make your sin lighter? I mentioned this was not meant to be an excuse, but you're saying that as it is one. However, I have something to say. I'd appreciate if you listen quietly. Funny you say such a thing. Do you think I'm going to listen to a kid's request? Kinjo. I'm sorry, but try to be quiet. The reason you this murder is not very relevant to your motives. As you may have guessed, but I'll talk about that later. Inuri was always in the infirmary, so she was very easy to target. This probably happened during Tara's uproar, so most of you were in the dormitory side. I took that gap and kidnapped Inuri from the infirmary, moved to the art room on the 3rd floor, and tried to stab Inuri with a blaster weapon. However, that's where he came and threw me away. The one and only Yamaguchi, who I thought he was in the dormitory side with you guys. Inuri? And you, I thought I was never have to make Yamaguchi's voice again, god damn it. That's why I've been giving his voice, kind of been trying to give his voice to Haru. Maybe. Haru, what are you doing? Stop! Whoa. Why is Haru doing this? This is not the time for that. I have to take Inuri and run away. Damn it. Why is Inuri unconscious? No, before that I have to get away from Uehara. I have to go and check where everyone is. Oh. I didn't want to do this, but you forced me. Can't help it, Yamaguchi. I'm sorry. I didn't hold a grudge nor hatred for both of you. Forgive me. Keep Inori alive. It has become irreversible. I'm sorry. Not really. Inori. That guy was a wonderful person. How many people can run without having a single thought about their own lives to instead save others? The Yamaguchi died because he witnessed it, and you were forced to kill him. Yes, originally, Inori should have been the one to be cut to death with a blaster weapon in the art room. However, because Yamaguchi intervenes, I changed the plan in a rush. Now that I hear this, the front and back are starting to fit better. It was especially strange because of Inori Kanata's white coat wiping the blood in the art room. That couldn't be helped, right? When you killed Kakeru Yamaguchi, Kanata Inori, the person he was holding, had his blood splattered on her. That's true. Come to think of it, when Iwahara said that he had a head injury, the wound was real. That was not acting, but being pushed by Yamaguchi. So that's the story. Anyway, you're a serial killer who killed 2 people. That remains the same no matter what you say to anyone. But why did Uehara condemn them to murder? I can't even imagine. It's hard to explain. How should I say this? Wait, before that, can I ask something? You, when Tara's commotion happens, you said you kidnapped Inori. If Tara didn't have a commotion, what would you have done? I mean, you wouldn't have known that. It would have been difficult to schedule the kidnapping. I didn't ask that For that so suddenly, Kurokawa? What are you trying to say? In other words, this is what the woman said. How did you know that Tara's uproar would happen? Oh, they knew? Think about it. If I had decided to kill, you would have a plan executed in advance. How could they calculate the time of kidnapping Kanata Inori without knowing that everyone was targeted in the dormitory because of Tara's puzzle? Oh. I see. Tara confessed to him. And he... okay. Well, I'm not sure what Tara's situation was in the first place. Huh, so after all, it was Kurokawa. He seemed to have the power to pick words, but his very own core, by his very own core. It's natural to think like Kurokawa. It would be strange to hear that. The plan looks as if it knew in advance that Tara would go and make a ruckus. The answer to this is simple. It's because I knew in advance. Huh? How? Are you a psychotherapist? You knew Tara's mental state and predicted the future. I don't think he's talking about that. Speak. I'll listen to this. Excuse me. It's not that big of a mystery. Someone just informed me. Tara's going to make a fuss soon. There'll be an empty frame for you. Not anyone can tell you that. You don't tell me. You don't tell me. There's one more thing I have to apologize for doing to you guys. In particular you, Maida. I should apologize more than the others. Huh? I am... Yeah, it was a very obvious story that the leader from the darkness gave Kinjo Uehara intimidation and threats from the shadows and led him the chance to kill a couple of times. What'd you say? It is blimey. Why are you suddenly interrupting? Huh? Did you not hear me correctly? Then can I say it one more time? Yeah, it was a very obvious story that the leader from the darkness gave Kinjo Uehara intimidation and threats from the shadows and led him that chance to kill a couple of times. Uehara-kun? The traitor? Anyways, that's the end of the story, so without chatting. If you guys continue on and on like this, you will be dragging again while doing reminiscence scenes or whatever. Wait, you're the traitor, but you got blackmailed. What are you talking about? Even if I'm the traitor, I don't know much. I don't know who the mastermind is, and why the mastermind is doing this to us. However, when we first came here, Monokuma approached me and awoke me before you guys. They were holding our church children hostage. They said to give me information and we released them, if I do what I am told to do now. What in the heavens? Wait a minute. Cathedral children. Calm down, speak slowly. The cathedral where I belong to, or rather there's a facility that takes care of children who have nowhere to go. That is entirely in the hands of Monokuma. So I was traveling under that pretext. Did you really fall for that kind of crap? That was all a bluff from that bear. That was not a bluff. He showed me the video, and I was shown having a conversation with the children myself. What did I ask? What were I instructed to do? Basically, I had a surveillance camera, so I was filming everything that was happening in every blind spot and sending it to the masterminds. More importantly, if killing were happening between students entering in a stalemate, I would commit the murder myself. So it's the same situation as Sakura. Okay. If the killing didn't start, he would be the one killing them. Oh, alright. Okay, never mind. If I don't comply with this, they said they would murder the children instantly. I didn't have a choice. So, did you commit the murder because there was a deadlock after Ayame Hatano? That was the motive? So this time, a motive, it wasn't useless to anyone. If you look at it that way, you may not be able to see anything. But Monokuma in that time, he said, is the time, so I instructed to move. Was the time when the announcement of the motive came. In the completely soundproof private room, show me the children. If you kill this time, the children will be free. If you don't get caught, you can get out from the school. A fully soundproof room. No wonder, this motive was purely to deliver the orders to Kinjo Uehara. You are so... using the lives of children to threaten Uehara. Was that unfair? Then I'll make it easy for you. This is not a blackmail. I just gave you a choice if Uehara-kun didn't want to kill, he could have refused. Don't mess with me. You said moments ago that there were threats. Hey, I know that was... it's a narrative thing. Don't think it too deeply. The last time was so rotten, because I couldn't let those children die. You guys, I really have no face to show you. Of course I understand to some extent that this was forced upon you. But would you still have to get your hands bloody? Why is it that necessary to kill? Do you think those kids want you to be a bloody murderer? Just like kids don't want me to be a killer, I don't want kids to lose their lives. There's only one way. It's enough with just me to fall into hell. You don't want kids to lose their lives. Then, are you saying when you kill someone you don't know, like Inori and Yamaguchi, they will lose their lives as well? Inori and Yamaguchi also have friends, family. And you say there's some people you don't want them to die. You don't even know the details, and you are worried about the children, right? Strange, Kinjo. My logic shouldn't be any different from yours, but you're getting heated, aren't you? The logic of a killer is the same as mine. What are you talking about? The sky and prime numbers for the majority. Isn't that what you said? I sacrificed the lives of 15 people and took the precedence over the lives of 100 cathedral children. That is what Kinjo says. Focus on the majority. So by Uehara's logic, Kinjo has no right to complain. He should just stay silent and die. Of course, that doesn't mean I'm allowed to commit murder. But Kinjo, you put Makaru, Tomori and me in danger, the one who went saying the exact same thing. Wouldn't it be necessary to reconsider your stance at least once? Kinjo. And I know too well that I am an ugly being. It won't be enough to go to the Lord's side, but it is enough to suffer, go to hell and die. But it's fine. Although I will not be able to meet those kids because I won't be able to live, I was able to save their lives with my sacrifice. Monokuma, you kept your promise? Of course. Even though Uehara's crime was revealed and in the verge of being executed, he still murdered as I ordered him to do. Since the moment you killed Yamaguchi, the children have already been released. The children. They're safe, right? Are you curious? So I want to see the proof of them. Video, please. As the chorus darkens, there is a noise on the screen that appears from somewhere. What it shows was winter in the dark streets, less than 4 years old. Mostly looked like elementary school students. It was the bodies of many children. What? Some parts have already been corrupted, deformed and transformed. There were kids whose bones began to appear. A child that his body had a broken shape that was unknown to me. Only the small bodies were telling me that they were kids. What? 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 Hey, did you play the wrong video? Those clothes. Kana. That's Haruki. That head was from Mitsuki. Uehara? Monokuma. How did this happen? You promised. Ah? Promised? Didn't I keep it? I definitely promised to release the kids. Have I ever told you I would let them be? Uehara, wake up! Scumbag. This isn't human. How could you do this? Because I'm not a human but a bear. And Uehara-kun, don't be so sad. It's been a while since you've been dead anyway. Soon you'll meet them. Meet them? Yes, shouldn't we start soon? Execution time. I'll make you follow your kids, so be patient. Wait a minute, this is too much. I'm sorry, but I don't have much time either. I've got a busy schedule here. Now then, let's get started. I prepared a very special punishment for Kinjo Uehara, the ultimate priest. Then let's go with lots of energy. It's punishment time. And Kinjo's just stunned. Well, that was interesting. Wasn't bad, but... Huh. I give it a 7. He was such a good priest. Adios, and amen. This is unfair. It's really too much. Uehara was killed. Like Higa and Hatono. Horribly executed. But Uehara didn't stay sane until the end. He could have protected the children because he was tricked by Monokuma. In the end, he killed Inori Yamaguchi for nothing. Without the devastating facts, Uehara's spirit was broken, executed thinking and recalling to the last minute. Kabazing, where are you going? This thing, called Monokuma. I won't be satisfied until I beat that thing. If you do that, you just die alone. Why don't you stay still? That's right. If you're angry at me, you can't help it. Because you guys who did this, and I'm just following the rules. It's not a bad thing. You think you're smart, Monokuma. I never intend to sympathize with a killer, but this time it seems a little different. You always say I, as the judge, should not participate in the trial. But in this case, you influence the case itself, let alone the trial. According to Kinjo Uehara, there were thoughts that Tiara would cause a commotion soon. Using that framework, Kinjo Uehara was able to carry out the crime with ease. This is not a motivation level or anything like that. This is enough to call you an accomplice. Is it? Really? So what are you trying to say? What am I saying? That's what this side wants to say. What the hell do you want to do with us? If the purpose was to kill us, it would have been possible to annihilate all of us already. That's not the case. It's also strange that they tried to kill us by biting a body like in the case of Kinjo Uehara. There's no sense of purpose in your actions. What the hell are you after, while making us do all of this? Kinjo-kun, you idiot. When in the world would a mastermind tell you its purpose, say yes, this is it? Well, even if I want to tell you, it's not worth telling you guys. What do you mean? No big deal, just that I hate you. What? Monokuma, hey! Monokuma, who used to speak and act as usual, suddenly stopped moving. As if it was a ridiculous act, he stiffened on the stop, as if time had stopped. What happened? It suddenly froze up. That's great. Let's just hit it this one time. Please calm down. Guys, let's go. Where are we going? Why so suddenly, Mikako-chan? There's no time. Explain as we go. So where are we heading? To the warehouse. Oh, we're going to the hole. There are stairs in the warehouse. But we can go down there anyway, right? Do you want to be honeycombed by a gun? What? Mikako died! It's Korean. She seems to be okay though. What happened? Machine gun doesn't react at all. I'm not sure, but I guess that means Monokuma was lying. Why don't we do the chores later and go in already? I don't think that was a lie. The machine gun is running properly. But it's not attacking us, right? Hey, Okotko. You said you were gonna explain as we go. What the hell is all this? I noticed for a while before the class trial started, but I only noticed it for a second. Now I can say for certain, Monokuma had a power outage. Power outage? While Monokuma was shutting down, all the school's facilities stopped operating. That's why there's no problem with this machine gun here. Or like entering a bathroom of the opposite sex and other things. That sounds like paradise? Yeah, please ignore the pervert here and continue explaining. I've been investigating the secret stairs since I discovered it. I checked by throwing a barrel, but the machine gun reacted and responded. Wow, so it's safe because Monokuma stopped now. But what happens when Monokuma suddenly starts running? We all together, be honeycombs. Hey! However, this crisis is an opportunity. You can finally check what's down here. That's fine at all, but how the hell did you know all that? You know the structure, but more than that, you know how Monokuma operates. What now? You've been so good at talking and acting so far. Ah, we experienced that already. Well, this is a staircase. When will the staircase end? How far are we going down? We're here. We are? Here it is. Is this a dead end rather than a way out? I thought the exit would come up so easily. I thought the exit wouldn't come up so easily. Apart from that, this room seems quite interesting. A prison in such a deep underground. Is that it? Wow, you came. Oh, it's Monokuma. Before anything, well done. Monokuma, how did you move? Well, maybe I just pretended to stop. What the heck? Putting that away. What are you talking about? Didn't I tell you? There was a terrifying creature trapped under the staircase. I just disposed of it a while ago. So it weren't for me, you guys would have been in a terrible situation at that point. Dispose of it? There's no way, how? Ah? I thought you guys would come here sooner or later, so I transferred it. This is not the only prison here. I don't know what you're talking about, but in the end, it was said there is an escape route here. Escape? You guys did really just came down here hoping for a way out. Sorry, but there's no such thing. You guys are nuts if you think there's a way out. There's no other way than to kill, so how about you give up on that idea? I hate this. I hate it. I don't like to watch killing each other anymore. I want to leave. Let me out of here. No, please, someone save me. That's it, become even more desperate. And he... oh, no. We had no choice but be helplessly beaten by Monokuma. Among the people we had, two, and an execution, there is no choice but to be on the pound of Monokuma. And we didn't know yet. But the despair was just getting started. Alright. Wait a minute. Where is Kanata? Is Kanata? I think it is. Yeah, I think this is Kanata. Alright. You wish to save your data up until now? Yes. And despair is in a sense like a plague. Hits you when you least expect. And suddenly, achoo! That was chapter 3. Let me stretch. Sorry about that. Is the microphone on? I've been talking to, the microphone is on. Now, I've been saying this for a while, mostly because I don't have anything really to discuss. Got to throw this idea anywhere else. This chapter was okay. It is like on the part of the resolution and the whole difficulty of the chapter. It is an improvement. It is easier at the same time. Yes, it is. There is an interview of the developer. I keep saying this. I'm gonna keep saying this. When you go to the wiki of the game, I don't go to the wiki of the game. There is spoilers in there. I was able to evade it somehow, but there is a section with spoilers in there that I may have got some information hidden there. I'm mostly up to the second case. I had to check because I was afraid. But the developer did say that on the third case forwards, he wanted to decrease some of the difficulty because apparently people were finding the game a little bit too hard. I understand why, more or less. Some of the reasonings behind some of his reasonings from the first chapter to the second chapter was a little bit weird. Like, for instance, if I go to the second chapter and think on the whole discussion about the leg, I thought there was a bit of mistiming. Like, if they just put it a little bit later, like if they just discuss it like, oh, they finally start talking about the tripwire. Like, they don't. How does it start about the leg? Before the class trial starts, Kanata and the sprinter, I forgot her name, god damn it. One sec. Sorry about this. Hatano. Kanata and Hatano. They approach Yuki. They approach us, the main character. And they decide to talk about the leg. And they ask Yuki to not tell this information to anyone so that they won't be distracted during the class trial. Because if they know that Hatano was in borrowed time, like the leg injury was deeper than it actually showed, and she wasn't able to sprint anymore because it hit a tendon, like a bunch of stuff. People would get distracted and not focus on the class trial. I get that. But I think it was a little bit too weird that it was brought up in the very beginning of the chapter. Like it messed up with the timing of a few stuff. It got me confused. That's why I feel right in the beginning like, oh, maybe I'm supposed to talk about this, maybe I'm supposed to talk about that. No, I'm supposed to talk about the order that things showed up, even though that was just out of the blue for 10 minutes. 10 minutes talking about a leg. God damn. But in this case, it was a little bit more cut and dry. There was a few mysteries for people that don't pay a lot of attention. And unfortunately, I paid a little bit too much attention. I've been reviewing the other live streams, the other investigations, and maybe I was a little bit too prepared. But yeah, I caught right in the beginning that the Monokuma file didn't say AM or PM. And yeah, just straight up, like Uehara was found on the ground, I was like, oh, this is the culprit. I don't know how, I don't know why, but I know the who. I just need to pinpoint it together. It was kind of similar to Celeste's case, where Celeste shows up and you just think like, oh, she did something. She's probably the killer, I just don't know why. You need a bit of work to understand how on the first game. Like, just because you know Celeste did something, you don't know how she moved the body, how she moved what was his name? God damn, I'm so bad with names, I hate myself for that. The ultimate comic writer, I forgot his name. How did he move his body? Like, she isn't exactly a very athletic person. And even if she was, isn't exactly a very light body. So you have to accept that maybe he just moved himself. If someone gets angry, why are you talking about spoilers in the other games? Well, this is like I have in the rules in the description. Since the beginning of the very first day. It is expected that since this is a fan project, I expect anyone that watches this to have some knowledge. To have like some either play the game or have had some exposition from the main series. because there may be discussion of the main series. There hasn't been any discussion in the games, however, I will point out stuff from the main series. This is a fan project, a fan that played original games, so I expect anyone that comes in contact with this also had contact with the main story. Otherwise, why are you watching this? I don't know. I just don't want any spoilers through the story of this game. And the next one, there is a sequel. I know there is Eden Project. At this point, Eden Project came out, but it's coming out. People has been praising it quite a lot. I am considering, after the New Year's Eve and Christmas, I'm gonna finish chapter 4 on the next few streams. That is my plan. On the next stream, I am going to begin chapter 4, and then I plan on finishing it on the next, after that, on 2 or 3 streams, chapter 4 and 2 or 3 streams. And then before Christmas, I have a little thing prepared. Hopefully, I can do it before Christmas. If I have to occupy another stream before chapter 4, then I'm not gonna do it. But hopefully, I can. In any case. Yeah, maybe I'll see after finishing this game, after Christmas and New Year's, when I return and I finish this game. I don't know if I play the sequel or if I play Eden Projects. Maybe I'll give it a little pause and play Eden Projects. Maybe. I'll just have a little check. Like, maybe it is like this game, that maybe it is being released in chapters. If it is, then I play the sequel, and I wait for the game to be fully finished before I play it. Maybe. There's a lot of maybes. Did I finish every single subject that I opened? Did I leave anything open? Can I just end the stream? I'm gonna just end the stream. Yeah. It's been 3 hours of streaming. This is fine. See you on the next one. Goodbye.